Hey Internet, welcome to the stream. Let's just reload the page, see if it's showing up. I'll get the chat up. I don't make any promises. I don't want to see that. Videos. Don't see it there yet. Oh, wait a minute. There it is. It's right there. Oh, you're hearing me popping my knuckles. All right. So I'm going to turn the sound way down on that. Oh. So what's that on the screen? That is a thing I'm doing. So I'll put that over here. Did I post this? Yes. And close that. Leave. Flee. I guess, you know what I'll do? I'm going to post a live feed to my Patreon video. So I was going to do at the top, mention a couple things. I got this. What's this on the screen? Go check the description text. If I did I do it right? Yes. Okay. Description text. CanCAF stuff going on. I'm participating in MCAF or FBDM, Festival of BD Montreal, Montreal Comic Art Festival, normally held in a park, which, to be honest, I prefer, but kind of a problem right now. So that's been canceled, but impressively, the crew at the festival has pivoted to holding the events online as much as we can, obviously. So there won't be the browsing market, which is unfortunate. A lot of us artists are not going to be selling as many books this summer, and that sucks. So hey, that's a good time for me to mention I've got a Patreon. Go check the description text for that too. But let's get back to the point. This coming, well, all May is CanCAF, and CanCAF is all the festivals across Canada that we're going to be in parks and in interesting places like libraries or an old train yard building, VanCAF, TCAF, DCAF, it's not a joke, Dartmouth Comic Art Festival. I mean, I think it's meant to be partially a giggle, but, and that's what I want to get to still. I haven't been to that. I've been to VanCAF only once because unfortunately plane tickets are bloody expensive, and I basically made back my money for my ticket in sales, which was great, but it didn't really make a profit. That was a lot of sales too. It was one of the best sales I had, but that just goes to tell you how expensive those plane tickets and kind of prime periods are. And then I'm not traveling this year. I'm not going anywhere. I'm happily held up. I've been practicing for this for 30 years, man. So, not to mock anyone having a rough time, but the stay-at-home part is an easy one for me. And then, so far, my work has continued with the school, but I only have one class next semester. It's going to be making comics, and you should go check that out. I've lost my train of thought, though. Let's get back to the point. The festival. FBDM MCAF is from mainly the 21st to, what is it, the 24th or 5th? Oh no. Let me go look. Jog my brain. Is it the 24th or the 25th? There are events on the 24th and no later listed. Okay, yes, 24th. And then it's all kinds of stuff. And there's a mix. Some English, like myself. Most, I would say, are French. But it's all cool stuff. And it's going to be on YouTube. So, I don't know. Maybe there'll be some kind of... I'm not sure if I think maybe the YouTube algorithm is not great with live casts for auto-translate. That's too bad. But, you should check it out. And you can check out mine. And hopefully if you're bilingual, you can check it all. You really should be. I'm not telling anyone, I suck at French. I'm not going to pretend that I've totally nailed that, but it's no shame, no shade on anyone who can't, but you should. You really should. So where was I? I want to draw, and that's where my brain's at. But I have these important things to talk about. FBDM, MCAF's happening, and then for that, I'm doing a comic jam. Oh, yeah. What is that? Where are we? How far are we in now? 5 minutes for me to get to the thing on the screen. It's when I'm in like draw mode, and I got these other things I'm supposed to do when I'm doing the video, so forgive me. The Comic Jam, monthly Montreal Comic Jam, I've sort of taken over hosting it. It's been on hiatus for a couple of years. The people who had been hosting it after me had run out of people who wanted and had the time. And right now, I felt like it was a good time to bring it back as an online Zoom and Aggie based thing. There's probably other ways to do it too. Like I know the Toronto Comic Jam guys are using Discourse, and then I forget what there's another drawing program. It's interesting. It's like I think it's site based, and you can upload the panels into like a fixed grid, which is a one way of going about simplifying the page design aspect, which I like, but slows a lot of people down trying to figure what to do. So I do like pre-designed page templates, but a variety of them. But they've got this web-based thing where you just do a drawing, and I think you upload it is how the deal goes. And it might have some basic on-site drawing tools, and then it goes into a fixed grid. So they're able to do jamming that way on their site. So there's probably different tools, different means, but I particularly enjoy the mix of using a Zoom Hangout and a browser-based drawing tool that lets you share a URL for each page, and then many people can draw on it. So you can do like a classic jam. There's even this weird glitch when you open a page; it's often turned around at a funny angle. Like you can free rotate while you're drawing, and I guess you don't realize that it gets really scrambled around. I don't know. It doesn't quite make sense because if you turn it back around right way around before closing it or sending it, it should be that way. I don't know. But I kind of like it because it comes to you. It's like when you pick a page off the table, you usually have to orient it to look at it. And it has that ritual as you rotate the page. Anyway, I'm happy with them as online tools. They're reasonably adequate. And so arranged, I'm going to have a Zoom event. If it gets big enough, we have the ability to do breakout rooms, and we can kind of have people organize in groups of friends and stuff if they want, but there'll also be the main Zoom room. And hopefully, I think we're going to be able to handle up to 3 breakout rooms probably this time, which is probably more than enough. That's just going to like how many folks I've gotten to volunteer to be co-hosts with me, and their ability to multitask and manage a larger group. So we're officially part of FBDM's scheduled events on the 21st, 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. That's 1900 hours. You can use the Facebook page, and then it's also a sign up on the Salon, the BD Montreal site for our mailing list. You know what? I'll put that in the description text after I finish this video too. I think. Did I already put it there? I did not. But if you go to the link for is it there? No. So I'll add it in the chat and add it to the text later. I'll put it in the chat now to remind myself. And yeah. That's going to be fun. I like doing the jams online. There's actually another one tomorrow. Vancouver, Saturday night. They're having theirs. Look it up on Facebook. Or you know what? I'll put that in the chat while I'm at it too, maybe. I gotta see. I want to get a drawing here, so it could easily get to be too much. I want this address for this. Where's my? There it is. Here's the chat. Here's the page to find all the things. That should work, right? So, yeah, it's a link. Good. There you go. So that's going to be fun. Angie's going to join me, and a number of other local cartoonists. And I'll probably, once we have, I'm going to meet with them all tomorrow online to discuss the details. And when that's sorted, I think I'll probably, unless I don't want to be, I'll give you a list of everyone who's coming to host, and you are all invited. Bring your doodle on. So I want to work on finishing something. I'm going to do some inking. But last time you were here, I believe you saw this in blue line. I think I did the graphite off camera. That's how I remember it anyway. So this is like one of the last scenes, possibly the last scene of the story. These are, I'm pretty happy with, they came out right the first time. Character designs. Not their costuming, but the people that I imagined for this story. And that's the first page, which I've now done some of the inks on. The original pencils. Handy. But no. Is that a print on it? No, that's the original. Original pencils. Or color erase. It's purple, but color erase pencils. People always ask, why the color, this color, that color? Often because I felt like it. Technically, using color like light blue is a traditional sketching color because it's particularly easy. This isn't non-photo repo, it's just a light blue. I don't find drawing with non-photo repo very useful. I don't use it. And this is light enough that one of the main tools is when you're just doing black and white line work with no values. It's really easy to go into Photoshop and get rid of your sketchy lines. So I'm actually going in here with this blue pencil, adding some additional notes for myself. And I did the first sketch and then just resized and changed it up a little bit for the inking. Didn't really redraw anything, but then in pencil, when I printed it out, I've put in this web of tendrils, the crowning fluorescence, which is the title of this story. This is another Mind Engine project. Another thing for which I believe, if you're curious, check out the description text. I think I've got it listed as a whole thing unto itself. Yeah. Anyway, it's on Patreon. It's a book. It's coming out. It's what I was planning on having published at FBDM. But then things happened, and I was close to being done. I actually, if you're a member of Patreon, you've been able to read edited, or in some cases unedited, and see the couple of stories that were left not quite finished. I've done a bit of work since I decided not to publish, but there's a few things that have, for the last month and a bit, been kind of on hold, not by intention, but my focus wasn't there to do things properly. You know, stuff was going on, and for creative work, that's kind of half of why I decided to not try to plow through with all this going on. I think I've said before, it didn't seem like a smart decision, and I was fortunate enough to have a little bit of cash squirreled away because of some IP that I sold off, so I had a little bit of time to burn, and I am teaching still. So my current day job of teaching part-time for the moment wasn't changing. It is slowing down in the summer. It's actually not entirely surprising because we've found in the past when we hold the classes in classroom, the classes get quite small in the summertime. So I think there will be a possibility of things expanding if we get great sign-up for our summer semester. But we're predicting with the the move to digital and the crackdown and possible economic problems, it'll probably be a slow summer. So I am teaching making comics. And please sign up, because I need a job. No, and I enjoy teaching the class, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes as an online class. I don't know, so far, I've been doing intro to cartooning and dynamic drawing for this semester. We're exactly halfway through the year. The year? No, the semester, sorry. And there's some definite downsides. I miss being able to actually sit there with these students and watch them draw and give them kind of feedback that's based on that kind of immediacy. I'm not sure just having a screen share thing works, because that's a little more, I don't know, if there's more time. I'm thinking maybe in the later part of the course I might do some one-on-one, because you can do breakout rooms. So that might be a way to do it. But that's just it. I'm just sort of like working out how to use the tools in a way that lets me teach a class the way I would like to. Of course, with that in mind, I've been trying to watch live streams of classes by other teachers a little bit, taking notes. I wonder about the language people use sometimes, and how much we all either... So in my case, there's a lot of things that I don't have an academic term for. I just picked up learning how to do it on the job, or in my early days, just learning how to draw and doing things that seemed obvious to me, in part because I'd seen them done, right? So you've got to... There's always artists you're looking at that inspire you to make art, usually. There are some people who kind of sort of come into art from a void, but unless you grew up outside of society, you've seen some sort of public art and have an idea of what to do. Same way we learn languages. We learn visual dialects and imagery from the culture that we're embedded in. Our literacy extends beyond the written word. It's our cultural literacy. That's fun. So one of the reasons I wanted to record this, I should see, can I zoom in much? Other than cranking the camera. I can technically crank the camera in closer. But do I have... Sometimes the webcam gives me way more... Oh, is it telling me that I'm fully zoomed? It really is. Alright. Let's see. We'll crank the camera a little bit. Get down in close. Just don't want to be running into it. But that's pretty good. Now, that's all you got for me. That's it. All right, it'll do. The roses and flowers. That's what I was getting at. I've just found a nice rhythm with the pattern to draw them and see them in 3D, large. Really just like out, and then thinking about, am I seeing the side? In which case I need to see a petal. And that's it. Which I talk in my class about reducing things to simple patterns you can repeat, slight variations, and the variations are often about emulating the structure and forms that a thing takes from different angles. So you can't skip studying the real things. When you get into patterns like this, you want some reference to look at. Batch of leaves, whatever. Decide on the shape of the leaves. Like that kind of thing, that's a little complicated. I want to do a lot of, but you can have that for up close and then medium and far away and very far away. That's all the scaling for that leaf that you can reduce and get variation in pattern. And the line's sort of off there, but if you're doing literally hundreds of these, and yeah, I've done that for drawing trees. It's a nice effect, and I think it squares the circle on. You don't want to be so careful and detailed it takes forever and drives you insane. And I also like the look of a more spontaneous line. It has more energy and life to it. And when you have complex patterns shrunk down, the end result is usually quite satisfying, I think. I'm enjoying it. I guess I don't have autofocus on. That's probably a good thing anyway. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I'm going to do that now. Let me put on some podcasts in my headphones. Come hang out and join the jam tomorrow in Vancouver or on the 21st. Normally the monthly Montreal Comic Jam is going to be on the first Friday of the month. But this is a special event. I was really bummed out that I wasn't going to be able to do the festival, so it was exciting to hear that they decided to try to pull off this online incarnation. These flowers, by the way, are also meant to be rose-like but inconsistent, and it'll be obvious when we see the real thing. What we're looking at here is a mural. Our main characters live inside. It's a short vignette, sort of world-building story, narrative about the place and the time. The characters are vehicles, but we're not going to get a lot of time with them. It's only 8 pages. We're going to see the world through their eyes and then learn a bit about what this mural is about by the end of it. So a decision. I know I wanted this foreground. There's going to be another couple of clusters of them. So now I can work my way back. These foreground bundles, I'm debating whether I want to animate an action that's a bit of a tell. Spoilers. I don't have to decide now. I'll come back to that. There's a hole in the wall. Do I want to try and draw a laugh board? Yes. Yes, I do. There we go. There's some damage here. Oh. Well, if you guys can hear that, and just frying something up. Sounds tasty. There's a number of folks who have been very eagerly commenting first on my streams and videos. I want to say thanks and welcome, except a lot of them seem to be somewhat suspicious in origin. Hey, if you're watching this, jump in and let me know. Say hi. Speaking of which, what's going on? Is there activities in the chat? Couple of likes. Let's reload the page because I find sometimes it is stagnant. Well, thank you. Jardel Cruz. Merci beaucoup. I'm really enjoying just doing black and white stuff right these days. Kind of gone along with one of the reasons I'm doing stuff on my solo right now. I've gone along in the past with collaborators and publishers who keep out of insecurity wanting to push new color sells easier. Like, I would like to sell books. Please go buy my books, guys. There's a link in the Gumroad. Go read my books and buy my books. The main reason I want people to buy my books is I want more of them to read my books. Although, technically, yes, I could give them away free, but then there's the whole wanting to pay the rent and pay bills and things. You could pledge on my Patreon, and then you get all my books right away. That's one of the deals there. Well, you get all the digital versions, and then actually, not a secret, if you stick around long enough, I just start shipping you print-on-demand copies of my books. Once it feels like it's accrued enough, lower, like if you pay $2 a month, you get to read them all digitally right away. It'll take a while to get up there where I feel like, hey, yeah, I should send you some books. But I will, eventually. Pretty much everybody. I'm supposed to be sending some folks postcards. I am still, that was not a good idea. I mean, it was a good idea. People like the idea of postcards, but I don't send postcards, it seems. That's not a very good, it's not like an excuse, but I've tried to make that a thing that I do. And we just have to address, the outcome, which is that I do not remember to do this. It does not come naturally. It was never part of, to be honest, being dyslexic. For a long time there, I'm old enough, almost 50, that when I was a kid, there was no internet to get into the ritual of writing people via something that had a built-in text spelling correction thing. And so being dyslexic, I was not prone to using written means to stay in touch. I talked to some folks on the phone a fair bit. Moderately social, introverted extrovert. But really, I sucked at the letter writing. It was a little sad because I had a couple of friends who were epic letter writers. And I always felt bad about not getting around to responding to some of their epic letters. Not that I didn't like reading them. It was just kind of difficult when you suck at so much at the writing thing. These days, it's quite different. I'm constantly talking to people because I still probably make tons of spelling errors, but vast majority of it is ably caught. I'm using Winsor Newton's pigment pens, a new discovery for me. I like them. Nice spin-off of being a teacher the last 6 years? Almost 7 years now. That it forced me. I've been using the same pigment pens for decades, which wasn't a bad thing. They worked pretty good. I liked them. Pilot DRs. But getting asked about other pens in class by much younger students, a lot of times they're like, oh, geez, I never use that kind. Don't know. Is it good enough? Will it do? And I want to say, like, well, you know, if it's a pigment ink pen, it's probably okay. But that's not, doesn't feel like a very informed answer. So I wanted to try them out. So I didn't go crazy, but I bought one or two of just about everything I could find as I was, you know, looking around. And I've now tried a whole whacker. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. About 8 different kinds of pigment pens. I should probably do a video about it. Some of you saying, what's a pigment pen? Well, it's a felt tip pen with a stylus modeled after the kind of mark you get from a repeatograph, which is an old piece of shit I do not like working with. I have some repeatographs. I never really used them though. But I felt I got them when I was young out of a feeling of obligation. But I deplored them. They're a pain in the ass, but they give a beautiful line, and you know how to use them right. They're kind of fountain pen, basically. But my mother, who was an illustrator, already was using Pilot DRs. And I ended up getting some as a teenager after I think I wrecked too many of hers. And continued to be a regular consumer of that particular type of pen. I believe also they were a pen of choice for Nelvana Animation Studios, and this would have been the 80s and 90s. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's also another place where I kept getting them. A lot of people are very familiar with the Micron, which I do not like. I find them brittle and short-lived. Don't hold a whole lot of ink. You know, they're adequate, but the brittle thing really bugs me. I have a light touch, so I don't break pens too often, but they don't survive one accidental drop ever, I find. And it's probably partially also the way they're built, the weighting of the pen, the weight's more inclined to cause it to land tip first. But the material also when you're using it. And like when it does, if it wears out, if it's going to break, it doesn't get mushy, it snaps and splinters. So they definitely have different mechanical properties.
I accidentally glutened myself.
Uh-oh.